developments in the investigation into the shooting death of a teenage girl gunned down by Denver police.
17-year-old Jessie Hernandez killed while driving a stolen car. And tonight, Denver police backtracking. Denver Police Chief Robert White saying now it's not clear how his officer was hurt in the alley that Monday morning.
7 News reporter Jennifer Kowaleski always investigating, pressing the chief about current policies. Jen?
And Chief White says that DPD's policies about shooting at a moving car are restrictive. But he did acknowledge it is concerning that there have been these 4 incidents in the past 7 months. The most recent on Monday when Hernandez was shot and killed. And then this one earlier this month when police shot at a suspect who tried to drive away during a traffic stop.
I think it's responsible and reasonable to look at our policies for the last couple of years to see if, in fact, do we need to change these policies, and I don't know the answer to that.
Denver Police Chief Robert White vowing to get answers, going back 10 years and looking at every case where one of his officers shot at a moving car. The chief going in front of cameras today, 3 days after 2 Denver cops shot and killed 17-year-old Jessie Hernandez. What is your message to people in the community who don't have a lot of faith or respect in law enforcement right now?
When we're wrong, I have the same responsibility to the community and to the men and women in this department to stand up and say, this does not look pretty. Some of the officers might be upset about it, but the actions were not appropriate, and we're going to take the corrective action to deal with that.
We pressed, but Chief White wouldn't go into specifics about Monday's shooting. He is backing off statements Hernandez ran over the officer with the stolen car, breaking his leg. He's now saying it's no longer clear how the officer was hurt.
Whether it occurred as a result of his attempt to get out of the way of the moving vehicle or being struck by the moving vehicle, that's part of the investigation.
This obviously a sensitive case in light of the Ferguson, Missouri shooting and the death of Eric Garner in New York City. Craig Silverman, a former Denver Chief Deputy DA, says this decision not an easy one for the current DA.
But hindsight's 20/20, and looking back, maybe there were tactical mistakes, but to prove a criminal charge against these police officers, that's going to be very difficult.
Why not hire an independent agency outside of the independent monitor to conduct this investigation?
I feel very comfortable with the commitment, the integrity of the police department to investigate it.
The independent monitor has also launched a formal investigation into these 4 incidents. As for Chief White, he says his department will decide if changes need to be made within the next month. Reporting live in the newsroom tonight, Jennifer Kowaleski, 7 News.
And Denver police have a 2-page-long policy when they may discharge their firearm. And the common theme in it, it can only be done if there is no other reasonable way to defend themselves or others. Officers are allowed to use force to defend themselves or others from the threat of deadly force or to prevent the escape of someone who either has used force, is trying to use a deadly weapon, or is likely to cause serious injury or death. Officers must give a verbal warning that they will shoot if their commands are not followed. And they're not allowed to just fire warning shots. They can only shoot when they know their actions may be deadly.